This is the country of Djibouti. It's one of my favourite countries in the world just because of the name. It's quite funny, isn't it? From Africa. And if we take a look, I've got the editor loaded because I've gone through every single nation in the world and I have selected youth rating to 200. Now, Djibouti's youth rating before that is a lot less, and definitely it's less than 100. 200 is the maximum it can be. The highest, without me changing things, is Brazil at about 160. Now, the concept of this idea is that I'm going to simulate 100 years into the future and see if all of these nations start producing the best players. I've also changed every nation to a developed state because that also helps the nations produce the best players. The one thing I haven't changed is all of the clubs. So there's three things that is going to affect how many good wonder kids come through each nation. One is the youth rating, one is the development state, and one is the club. Whether the club have the facilities and focusing on youth facilities. So that's the only thing I didn't change. So we might see very heavy from certain nations that were already good, but we might see some absolute bangers every now and then from countries just like Djibouti. Now, like I mentioned, we're going to simulate 100 years. After that 100 years, we're going to take a look at all the international competitions like the AFCON, the Copa America, and of course the World Cup to see if there's any surprise winners from those nations. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to select each year where I have noticed that a weird and wonderful nation has a player that has won the Ballon d'Or, and we're going to take a look at that player because I've saved it every single year just so that I can do that. So every single time we see a country, for instance, there's one from Rwanda, we can see how good that Rwandan player is at the time he won the Ballon d'Or. This video is going to be a lot of fun. So smash a like on the video if you can. If we can reach 1,000 likes, that would be absolutely fantastic. But I want you to let me know down in the comments, what is the weirdest nation that you have seen a player win the Ballon d'Or from? I'm quite curious to see whether it has ever happened in your states without affecting the youth rating. And of course, the Patreon members on the £5 tier, you'll have access to this editor database so that you can start off with this with every team, or I can also give you the save game file after 100 years so you can have a look through it yourself and see if you can find anything weird and wacky that I haven't covered. Now, today's video is sponsored by SPITCH, which is the ultimate fantasy football app that is brand new to the market. And I've even created a Mega Luke community league for you all to join. Now, it is available for UK and Ireland audiences, and you have to be 18 or over to sign up. And the app lets you build up your own team, collect points, and battle out against other managers like me in the app. Oh, and also, Omega Dad might be in there, so we already know who's winning that league. Now, you can play for free, and you can compete to win a chance of up to £70,000 on a weekly basis. But the best thing is with SPITCH is that it's not just a fantasy football app where if you forget 1 week, then you are done, because that's what I always do at the start of the season. That's why I didn't even do one this year. It's a weekly based competition. So if you do miss 1 week, you can still continue it the week after and you still have a chance to win. There's also tons of statistical analysis straight inside the app too, and it's incredibly easy to register, as you can see me doing it right now. And I'm terrible at these things. So use my link down below if you'd like to join. It's free, and in the top of the description there, you'd also be supporting my channel as well. So thank you very much for doing that. And if you'd like to join my community league, I will also leave a link down for that. So you can face off against me and you can face off against Omega Dad. So thank you very much to SPITCH. Make sure you join. Thank you very much. So the year is 2121. Yes, we are officially 100 years into the future. So the first thing I want to take a look at is the African Cup of Nations, considering it's just happening as I'm recording this, probably has just finished. So we can see the most recent winners is Angola 2021, 21-21. That's going to be so difficult to say when it gets to that point. I probably won't be around to say it. So Angola have won it this season. Zimbabwe have won it recently. Algeria, Angola. We can see that there are a few nations which we recognize to usually win it, Algeria and Egypt being that, but there are some different ones, some unique ones that aren't really up there in recent memory. One thing I did notice from this was it wasn't 2065 is the last time Nigeria have won it, which is quite a thing really, because they are a big nation in Africa in real life. Of obviously, without changing this, they do produce some of the best African players in the world, especially in recent times, and they're nowhere near even first, runner-up, or third place for such a long time. So Nigerian fans, you've been on a bit of a slump there for a very long time. We can see a bit of a reign of terror there from Senegal. Ivory Coast had a good year in the early 2020s because, of course, obviously the new gens didn't quite come through yet. It isn't until really we get to like 2067, I would say, where Guinea-Bissau is not really well known for winning a lot, where we start to get a more unique look at different teams winning it. Now, the Asian Cup. This was most recently won by South Korea, so it looks like it's across the course of 2 seasons, and it's played every 4 years, very much like the Euros that we have. South Korea have won it recently, but Lebanon was runners-up. So I'm quite curious. I'm going to have a look at Lebanon's best player, 28 years of age. Now, he's not amazing. Do you know what I'm really curious with? Because I've got the editor open. I can see whether these players have a good high potential, they just haven't reached it. So his potential ability was 134, so that is not the case. But sometimes I noticed when I was just scanning through this database that some of the players from these unique nations, they might be around like the 150 mark, but their actual potential is like close to 200. They just never managed to reach it. Whether that's because of professionalism, whether that's because their club, well, the club that they were at never had the facilities, etc. So that's going to be interesting to take a look at when we dive deeper into this. China have won it recently as well. Australia, Syria become runners-up. We know Syria do actually have a few good wonder kids in the game right now that you could pick up for so cheap, but nothing that's too unique that I think that we can see here. But I do think because of the nation pool, it isn't that many, that we wouldn't see that many different unique nations win the Asian Cup. Now, the Copa America. This is a different one because 21-20, Chile have won it, Uruguay have won it recently, and Brazil. So let's take a look at the winners recently of Chile who won it the season before this at their best player. So he plays for Barcelona, very good physically, doesn't look that amazing in the rest of him. What about, so he has a potential ability of 180, 150 current ability, and he has come through Chile. He actually has, was a youth intake through Chile. So that's going to be, that's something I'll keep checking. So Brazil won a few times, Paraguay, Argentina have not won it since 2072. They've been runners-up the last 2 times, but they have not won it for a long time. Even the USA have won it. Are the USA in it now? I don't remember the USA being in it at the minute. So, I mean, actually, they hosted it here in 2016, so maybe they are, and maybe I'm very ignorant to the fact that they have been in it for a very long time. I thought they were in the Concacaf, which is what we're going to check next. So, the Concacaf Gold Cup 21-21, it's actually happening right now as we speak. But the past winners is very interesting because Panama is the current holders 2 years in a row, or 2 tournaments in a row, with Guatemala finishing runners-up. Now, considering this tournament has Mexico and the USA in it, even Canada sometimes produce some really good players. Jamaica, of course, have some good players that can play for them. Panama is a very unique nation. Alexis Murillo is their best player, 29 years of age. He plays for Werder Bremen. Very good player indeed. Let's take a look at his thing. So his potential is 163. Hasn't quite reached it. Did he come through? He did. He come through Toro in Panama. That's amazing. Who don't have the best youth facilities. This is what I'm on about now. They might not have the best youth facilities, etc., etc. But this is obviously, they're still going to produce some players that have that potential because of the youth rating now. Guatemala. I'm so intrigued by Guatemala. Freddy Vasquez, yeah, decent player, absolutely decent player, plays for Olympiacos. He's 29 years of age, so he's also in his prime. His potential is 141. Did he come through? He did come through Guatemala. This is amazing. I love this. I love this database so much because imagine playing this and you have the potential to scout anywhere in the world to find the next best player. That's the beauty in this database that you can get from Patreon on the £5 tier should you wish. But El Salvador have won it a few times. Panama have won it more than the 2 that we have seen. Trinidad and Tobago. Mexico went on a right tear there. They won 6 in a row recently, and they've done that quite a few times. There's another 4 there. USA have won it a few times. I've never even heard of this country. I'm so sorry if you're from there. But Nicaragua, I'm guessing it's like an island in the Caribbean, possibly. So it's rival nations Costa Rica. So yeah, I'd say it's probably right close to that. But this is amazing. This is their best player right now. This is their best player right now. He's playing for Flamengo. Did he come through that? He did. This is amazing. He's played for Rangers, Galatasaray. This is incredible. Okay, so that's not bad at all. They're ranked 99th in the world right now. That's something we also need to check. Let's move on on to the next one. The European Championships. One has recently happened the season before this, and Sweden have won it. So that's great. Spain was runners-up. Who were the hosts at the time as well. Holland, Italy, Spain, Serbia. So there's a couple of nations there which you wouldn't expect. Serbia, maybe. Sweden being the most recent one. But again, like with the Euros, we tend to see, you know, Greece have won it in 2004. Denmark won it in 1992. So there has been times where a nation that wasn't expected to win it have won it. There isn't a nation here like a San Marino, for instance, which you would never give a hope in hell's chance of winning it, actually winning it. So, of course, this is every 4 years, so there's less winners, less chance of doing it. Scotland, Poland, maybe. But again, those nations I've seen him win without changing the youth rating. So Sweden, let's take a look at their best player right now. So it's this guy called Tibley. He's 34 now from Arsenal. So he's a good goalkeeper, very good goalkeeper indeed. Come through the AIK team in Sweden. Right, fair enough. They are world ranking of 9th right now. Now I'll take a look at the world ranking once we look at the World Cup, which we're going to do next. Yes, the FIFA World Cup, the best tournament ever in my opinion. Better than the Champions League. I absolutely love the World Cup. And Slovenia are the current holders of the World Cup, with Ireland as runners-up and Tunisia as 3rd place. That's amazing, isn't it? That is amazing. So let's take a look at Slovenia before we take a look at the rest of the winners, because I'm just shocked by that. Bludek is their best player. He's very good. From Liverpool, we didn't take a look at the potential of the other ones. 169 is his potential, and he has come through by the looks of it. Is that Maribor? It is Maribor. My club information up here. That's just speaking to my dad all the time. That's basically what it is. Hey, we've got a new channel coming out, me and my dad, so make sure I'll leave the link I'll leave the link for it in the description. We're going to talk about real football. It's called Alpha and Omega Football. Make sure you check it out and enjoy it. It's going to be really fun to talk about real football with my dad. I know how much you all love listening to him yap on about real football. Now, Ireland was, of course, the runners-up. I think we'll do Irish fans justice and check their best player, Paul Brett. He's a goalkeeper from Cologne. Now, he didn't come through the Ireland Youth Academy, which does disappoint me, but that happens a lot of the time in the UK. They are world ranking of 6th, though. Amazing. And Tunisia, of course, given the African nation, who's this guy? So he has a good potential, maybe? 139, not necessarily, but he is their key player. Now, has an African nation ever won it still? Because that would shock me if they haven't, considering this database, and it doesn't look like they have. So the first nation to win it after the 2022, the Qatar one, was Belgium, but of course, no regens through there. I would say the first time the regens had an effect was here. Greece won it in 2038. Then it was the usual nations that you see. England always win it on the game, and they just can't win it in real life. Then Sweden and Poland, back to back there, so that's fantastic for the B nations, I would say, the nations that you wouldn't expect necessarily to win the World Cup, but they're up there. No real shocks again, though, all the way up until Slovenia, because I think Slovenia is the lowest ranked nation right now in real life that has won this, that we can see on this list. In regards to the runners-up, there's a Venezuela there, a Senegal finished runners-up, very disappointing there, Paraguay, and Tunisia again in 2094 against England in the final. So an African nation still has not won the World Cup, but they've come awfully close though. And a few nations who have never won the World Cup have come awfully close. Norway, Paraguay, Ireland, Holland. And then, of course, Ukraine is there, Slovakia, Senegal. Yeah, there's a few. There's definitely a few. I mean, one nation I have noticed that isn't here only once, actually, is France. 2078 is the only time that France have won it. It's definitely affected France. So the world rankings then. England are sat on top of the world rankings. They are first right now. Joint second is Uruguay and Spain. We have the Netherlands there in 4th, Mexico 5th, Republic of Ireland in 6th. I want to see Bolivia. I would say Bolivia is the highest nation in here. That shocks me the most. Let me know what your thoughts are though, because there is a few, don't get me wrong, but Bolivia up to 16th is amazing. There are occasionally a few good Bolivian players that you can find once you start playing the game often. This guy's amazing. So he's Manchester United goalkeeper, Ronald Melgar. So he, 158 current ability. Did he come through? But he didn't. That's a shame that he didn't come through a Bolivian team. There is more top players, though, dotted around Europe. This guy, so he also come through Velez. That's weird how Velez have this link. I mean, the strongest. I know they're Bolivian. Good. So the third best player that they consider has come through a Bolivian team, 29 years of age, plays for Molde right now. In regards to lower nations going downwards, I guess. I mean, Panama's there, 38. That's quite high for Panama. But Russia down in 24th. Norway, of course, who are quite good in the game because of a certain Erling Haaland and Martin Ødegaard, down there in 25th. Greece, who've won a few things, down in 29th. The further we go down, though, there are a few nations which have dropped off massively. A couple of African ones for sure. Ivory Coast and Cameroon. Australia, 62. Nigeria, like we mentioned, having a torrid time in this database. Austria down in 66th is a bit of a shock, especially when you got nations like Moldova right on their tails. This is quite shocking, to be fair, that there is a few of these nations. Finland all the way down in 93rd. Occasionally they make a World Cup or two. So yeah, I mean, who is bottom? If it's still like San Marino, I'm gonna be gutted. Djibouti. Djibouti is literally I mentioned them and here they are. I'm gutted about that. I didn't even know this was going to happen, by the way. So there's Djibouti. That's their best player. Wow. He's dreadful. He is. I don't even think he's got a club and he's their key player. I'm so annoyed by that. Guam, British Virgin Islands, so all of these types of like islands from different areas of the globe are at the bottom, and obviously the ones that aren't actually like ranked, I guess they don't necessarily have a team that are ranked in. Andorra's there, like Yemen. Right, that's quite interesting then. But what I want to see is some unique Ballon d'Or winners. So the first one I want to check, we're here at 2039, so not too far in the distant future. This is a very interesting Ballon d'Or because first place was this man from Armenia, but a Jordanian was second, Ahmed Hamad, and he is incredible. Look at that, 32 years of age now, and he came through Jordan. That's amazing. Ended up in the Premier League, so that's fantastic. But this man was the winner of the Ballon d'Or, and he is phenomenal. So the club he trained at was Armenian. Get in. He's been to 2 different Armenian clubs before going to Porto. His potential ability is 182. Very unique nation there from Manchester City. Right, 2056, we're coming back again because we have a player from the UAE that has won the Ballon d'Or. 28 years of age for Bayer Leverkusen as well. So he got 23 goals and 17 assists from centre midfield. I'm intrigued. Oh, he's very, very good, and he come from the UAE's youth academy, or a club in the UAE's youth academy, and he's moved to Bayer Leverkusen. What a career he has had. So let's take a look at his potential. 182, but he has a recommended current ability of 190. So at the minute, he's even more overpowered than what he should be. But yes, he's a phenomenal player who can play in a number of different positions. Very good indeed. The second place was a Belarusian player. I'm just going to take a look. 27 years of age. Every now and then Belarus produce a player. He is one of the best ones I've ever seen. So I think even Zealand will be happy with that, with his love of Belarus. 182 potential ability there. And most recently as well, we can see a Costa Rican played, won the Ballon d'Or the season before that. 30 years of age now from Manchester United, CDM. We need him right now, that's for sure. But a few seasons before that's like English, Germany. I think there was like a good one recent. Moldova. He won't be playing anymore. He retired as a player, 37. But again, from Moldova, that's interesting. 2080 then, we have a New Zealander who has won the Ballon d'Or for Manchester United. He scored a lot of goals. 32 years of age. He is phenomenal in the right places. Like, bravery and concentration are great for a striker, but they're not necessarily the be-all and end-all. What he does have, it is fit everywhere. Now, please say he come from New Zealand. He did! Christchurch United, £85 million player as well. Look at his career. He scored so many goals. Hams Aboka. Let's take a look then. So his current ability is 173, but his potential was 185. Very capable player there. We have a Swedish who finished back. He's won it twice, by the way. And the season before that, Charlton Chikoya. Now he's Zimbabwean. He's 35 now, so he might have dropped off a little bit. Look how good he is considering he did drop off. Because he's still playing for Chelsea, and he's still one of the best players in the world, and he won the Ballon d'Or here, I think. So, yeah, very good season that he has had. We can still see what his potential was, 183. He's still ranked at 172, even though he's 35 years of age. Probably Zimbabwe's best ever player. He's not even their key player right now. Patrick Takwara is, and he's even better. Benfica. Amazing. And I just double checked, he came through the Zimbabwe clubs of AYSA and the Highlanders. He also played in Saudi Arabia before making his move to Europe. Now, I've brought you back to 2085 because the previous 3 are insane, and they've just been like trading it and finishing runners up to each other. We have a Slovenian, we have a Honduran, and we have a Luxembourg player. A Luxembourg. We know how small Luxembourg is. They are tiny. World ranking of 130, and yet somebody from Luxembourg has won the Ballon d'Or. That's incredible. Look at him. 31 years of age, David Wagner. Did he come through? He did! He come through a Luxembourg team. That is amazing. I mean, he must have been like 16 here, and he's like one of the best players ever that they have seen. He moved for free to Augsburg. He moved to Juve, then to Chelsea. What a career, and he's come through Luxembourg. I'm so happy with that. Let's take a look. 191 is his potential. Come on, I love this. That's so amazing. So Savinho, then we got this guy. Of course, they've just won the World Cup after the 100 years. We're not at that point yet, but he has come through Maribor again. Very good player indeed from Bayern Munich right now. 193 is his potential. And then we have the one in the middle from Honduras, again at Bayern Munich. Maybe Bayern Munich has been dominating recently, but he is here. He is insane as well. Did he? He did. From Olympia. He comes through their academy or a club, and he is current ability 191, potential 192. Amazing. I'm guessing Bayern Munich have dominated. I have the Bundesliga loaded. It's the only one that I have loaded. They still play at the same stadium like 85 years. They've won only 8 Champions League, but they won 67 Bundesligas. I'm curious, and probably people will ask about the Champions League. It has been traded along with the usual suspects, mainly because they're just gonna sign those players, right? So that's obviously what's basically gonna happen. But we do take a look at records. Real Madrid have still won it the most times with 20. Now the last one that I'm going to show you, 21-17, we have a player from Rwanda. I mentioned it earlier. This guy's class. Look at him. Yamini. He is insane. From Mainz, and yes, he come through a club in Rwanda, APR FC, who have the worst youth facilities that you can possibly see, and it doesn't even look like they play on grass most of the time. There's a lot of dirt there that this player has come through, and he plays for Mainz. £143 million. As Mainz just won the Bundesliga. They are dominating the Bundesliga. Obviously, I have the Bundesliga loaded, like I mentioned. Mainz have been very good throughout this, in case you just want to have a look. But Bayern Munich have kind of won it the most. There hasn't been any other like weird and wacky clubs. Kaiserslaughter's come up. Oh, that's ages ago. Never mind. Ignore me. I went too far down. I thought they'd come all the way up. Leipzig, interestingly, I think has only won it once, which is quite damning, really, when you consider the money that they are throwing around at players. But Mainz have done very well to break the mold of Bayern Munich. Not a lot of Dortmund up there, but that's because they're splashing cash on players like this man, Ibrahim Yamini, who has won the Ballon d'Or despite being from Rwanda, which is amazing, and he is incredible. Let's look at his potential is 184. He is at his potential as well, so he's up there with the very best. Scottish player Dominic Duffy there also plays for Mainz. So Mainz won 1, 2, and 3 because he's there as well, Dominic Duffy, and Samuel Frimpong, German, also at Mainz. They completely dominated the Ballon d'Or this year. There has been some weird and wacky nations that I haven't covered. I think there's an Irish player there. There's a Thai guy here, yes. So there's a few, and I have missed out. So if you want to take a look at this database, of course, patreon.com/MegaLukeGaming. But I hope you enjoyed this weird and wacky look 100 years into the future with every single nation set to 200. If you want to see something like this, but maybe different, let me know down in the comments. I'm always open to ideas. It did take me a while to set up, so if you can smash that like button, I really would appreciate it. And smash that subscribe as well. Of course, the link to me and my dad's channel will be down in the description should you wish to take a look at any of the videos that we've had come out so far, or any of those that we have coming out in the very near future. Thank you very much for the support on that, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.